Hey everybody, K3500 here. What you are looking at right now is the underside of a 2000 GMC K3500. So basically, if you have any K truck 88 to 98, or in this case 2000, uh, pretty much going to look the same, right? So right now the fuel tank is out. I dropped the fuel tank. The pump was working fine, but the the level sensor wasn't working good, so I replaced it. So when I got under here, the previous bolts that go through the hangers here, the two hangers to hold up the fuel tank. As soon as I twisted them, they were just seized in there, and that metal, there were those metal clips to hold it on the inside there, to hold the nut on the inside, and they immediately just spun through because they're so old and corroded. And as you can see, there's not really a good way. It's this kind of U-shaped frame on each side, and there's not a good way to get on the other side of it to hold the nut uh, to loosen it. So what I did, I immediately just went ahead and took a sawzall, cut right through the bolt, and then I was able to use a magnet um, on this one over the top. On the front one here, towards the front of the vehicle, I used a one of those springy magnets to fish it out that way to the side of the vehicle. So then what I did, unless you can find those clips, but they're really not going to be that sturdy, I went and bought these. I found these at Ace Hardware. This was called a spot weld, or it was called a tack weld nut, I think. Uh, I tried something else. First, I tried to weld nuts on here, and then I found out that you need a special weld nut. Otherwise, it distorts it. The heat distorts the metal, and it won't work. So this one is already installed. I took one of these. I put it in there. Then I took the bolt before I welded it. And the reason this is nice is because it's got this little lip here, as you can see. So I had that face down, and it just sits perfectly right in that hole. I kind of held it with my finger, put the bolt in there just a little bit. I went ahead and put anti-seize. That's what you see right there. I put anti-seize all over the bolt and a little bit around it, just to prevent any splatter getting onto the threads. I made sure this was center. I put my I used a wire flux welder here. So I put the clamp right here, and then with one hand I held that down to make sure it was center in there, and then I just put a small little bead right there to hold it in. Because unfortunately, I was hoping this would be long enough where it would stop inside that U, inside the frame here, but it was not. It was too small. So I put that little weld, and that should hold it pretty good to tighten it. And then I have to do it to the other side. I kind of goofed this one up here. That was the old weld. I just finished grinding that off because I didn't do a great job with it. So I'm gonna seat it again and re-weld it. And in case you're wondering, so the original bolts that came out were 7/16. All right, it was 7/16 -14. But just I got stainless steel and everything just to help prevent corrosion in here. And I couldn't find 7/16 at the store, so I went with 3/8. So everything here is 3/8. And I mean the 3/8, this tack weld nut here, fits perfectly in there. So if you go with 3/8, should have no problem. So in case you're like me and those things bust on you, go ahead and cut them out. And there's one simple solution for you. If you don't have a welder and you need to do this, I think you would still be okay using your finger in there, getting that nut started. This is after you have the tank in and you have the strap up there. Get that nut started, and then you should be able to use a pry bar, screwdriver, or something to hold in there. And then while you tighten up that nut, okay. So if you don't have a welder, that is one option that you could do. I did have the welder, so in these, that lip stuck out just enough to weld it, so that was nice. And I didn't want to go through the trouble of trying to hold a screwdriver in there and tightening it, so I just welded it. All right, if you have this project, good luck. K2500 out.